raising their collective voice and rallying downtown for an end to the war in Gaza, which has now eclipsed the 8-month mark. Good evening. Demonstrators assembled outside the U.S. consulate today, calling for an immediate ceasefire.
It was one of several events happening across North America to mark 8 months since the start of the war, including a large gathering outside the White House in Washington, D.C.
Free Palestine!
8 months after the Israel-Hamas war began, hundreds of Torontonians gathered in front of the U.S. consulate on University Avenue, creating a symbolic red line to denounce the actions of the White House after President Joe Biden said last week that an Israeli airstrike in Rafah that killed dozens of Palestinian civilians did not cross the so-called red line of providing American weapons to Israel.
The Israelis have committed multiple massacres inside Rafah, and Joe Biden's red line is nowhere to be found. So we're here to demand that both the United States and Canada stop funding this genocide, stop sending arms to Israel.
A similar message south of the border in D.C. today, where demonstrators at the White House formed what they purported to be a 2-mile-long People's Red Line outside additional fencing erected by the Secret Service.
I believe that this is making a difference. It's showing the whole world these protests are happening all across the world, in Canada, in America.
Among the protesters here at home, students whose pro-Palestinian encampment was removed from York University this week by police. Those demonstrators insisting they did not get the chance to have an open dialogue with the administration.
We had 3 minutes to empty the camp when people were asleep at 8 in the morning. We think 8 in the morning was intentional. They wanted to make sure that students were not on campus, that our students did not have a community to protect them.
A community that insists they will not be silent.
What about Gaza? Victim of decades and decades of long illegal occupation and siege, now the victim of genocide.
Demanding a ceasefire as the war rages on. Members of the